Test uploads have proven that this video is probably not gonna get monetized. However, thanks to my awesome YouTube members and patrons, I will still be able to release it for all of you lovely subscribers. Come on, after 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, patrons and YouTube members. Better still, why not join them by using the links below and get access to 5 exclusive Kickstarter episodes, with the 6th being worked on as we speak. It doesn't even matter what tier you choose, you will get access to all of them. Anyway, thanks again from me and everybody else who support the show, but for now, let's get on with the video. It's time to get dirty. Who would have thought that a year and a half after releasing this video, people would still be wanting a follow-up? 5 rude games for Nintendo Switch made for perverts. Well, careful what you wish for, guys, because today I plan to do yet another 5 games for Nintendo Switch made for perverts. Yes. And for all of you guys out there that need a little bit of splaining, allow me to do that very thing. Nintendo has had a pretty OTT history when it comes to censorship in its video games, whether that resulted in games having a slight graphical change that pretty much nobody would notice, such as the signage in Final Fight being changed from bar to club, and more recently doing stuff like adding tights to bare-legged anime chicks in Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. Now this all may seem a little bit petty, and you know what? It probably is, but the reason I'm bringing it up is just to show how far Nintendo are willing to go to censor content on their platforms, even if the games they are censoring are not even first-party titles. And it's because of this extreme focus on family-friendly content that resulted in the Nintendo Switch rightfully getting a bit more of a family-friendly feel compared to the competition, which, let's not kid ourselves, is exactly what it's going for. But when you dig around the eShop and you go wondering about the import section of your favourite region-free handheld, your eyebrows will no doubt lift higher than your forehead will allow, because what I'm about to show you guys will not only demonstrate how times have changed, but more importantly, it will make you question what sort of person buys a system like this. I'll tell you who. Perverts. That's who. And don't you worry, guys, you're in good hands, because I'm no pervert. I don't own all 5 of these games. I only own 3 of them. Hi everybody, I'm DJ Slope, aka Daniel Wibberton from Slope's Game Room, and this is another 5 games for Nintendo Switch made for perverts. You still disgust me. This is the game that you all seem quite angry that I didn't include in the last video. So let's start this list off with this particular game. You know what game I'm talking about. The game with all of the thigh slapping. Yes, thigh slapping. So this is Senran Kagura Reflections, a game from the Senran Kagura franchise, of course, that I actually featured last time, with a game that turned nice cute anime girls into half animal type things as you played pinball against certain body parts. And by the way guys, yes, we are still waiting on that inevitable DJ Slope DLC to be confirmed. Anyway, before you had that Senran Kagura game, you actually had a lot of pretty good looking fighting games, and well, then you had this one, which has gone down a far more calm and chilled out route, which honestly makes this review pretty hard to write. I'm not exactly someone that gets a lot of enjoyment out of games with crazy amounts of dialogue and story, and I suppose you could say the same goes for other mediums too. And with that in mind, Senran Kagura Reflections is a game with a lot of story. So basically, it's not really for me. The idea of this game is to speak to one of the girls one-on-one who is having some weird feelings that she hopes that you can help her understand by touching her with your virtual hands. And yes, this game takes full advantage of the Nintendo Switch's rather impressive HD Rumble feature. It starts off pretty simple, you know, just touching her hands in the right places to trigger dream sequences, but the better and more frequent that you do, you will unlock the ability to touch other stuff and unlock items to touch her with, including a vibrator that you can put on her belly in order to vibrate her chest. The game knows what it's doing, it's aiming for a certain demographic, and even though that particular demographic have already given this game an extremely average review, people are still buying it. And you can too using my affiliate links down below. However, before you do, you should probably think twice, as this incredibly average game does feature a scenario where she will pretend to be your sister. So Gun Pixies, that's a game that yet again you all seemed really angry that I forgot about in my last video. I didn't forget about that game, guys. I didn't know that game existed. And come on, is it more pervy than a game that comes with a pair of panties? So in Gun Pixies, you play as a couple of alien girls who are essentially perfectly proportioned anime chicks, and for some reason you are tiny and you spend your time running around the dormitory of a few human girls who are essentially perfectly proportioned anime chicks. However, something bad happens. I don't know. Look, the main mission is to go around and shoot girls with your happy bullets. Yes, happy bullets, in an attempt to make them, well, happy, like super happy. The kind of happy that you don't normally see in games, but you do see on TV. If you know what I mean.
Mr. Happy is fat.
And believe me, if you think shooting an unsuspecting girl from directly beneath her is as pervy as this game gets, think again. Honestly, there is actually a little more to this game than you may expect. You've got stealth-like missions, you have the ability to explore, which is important if you want to go and find all of the missing panties. But at the end of the day, essentially what you've got is a very stiff-to-control, third-person shooting game with a whole heap of repetition that unsurprisingly does get old rather quickly. Still, it's not going to stop you pulling it out every time your mates come over to laugh at it, is it? Oh, very funny. Dodo, you are so adorable. I really like you. Dodo, you should put on your clothes. If you don't wear anything, then I will wear nothing too. This is the kind of one-on-one dialogue you will learn to expect when playing through Summer Sweetheart on the Switch. So the idea of this one is pretty simple. You play as a guy trying to impress one of several girls to hopefully become their boyfriend. Or more. You can choose Natsume, who seems pretty normal and loves to have half her boobs out all the way through the entire game. And then of course you have Miyu, who is kind of a furry, but not, I don't know, fully converted yet. And it's your job to teach her how to become more like Natsume, I suppose. Regardless, once you have chosen your lady friend, it's then your job to build up your relationship meter by going on dates and doing various activities. The more you do, the more rewarded you will become, with various 30-second long clips playing as you interact with the girls. And it was at this point that I worked out exactly what this game truly was. A perverted Tamagotchi. This is you, the person you control. You need to level up your various skills, make sure you get enough rest, like and comment on the girls' social media posts, and make sure you plan your days to include all of these things. The better you do, the more dresses you unlock to dress up these ladies, and the more these kind of clips unlock. It's an extremely odd game that honestly is hardly a game at all, yet it does teach you some rather good life lessons. For example, if you find a drunk girl in the park, be a man, help her, take her back to your place unconscious and let her sleep in your bed. She'll be surprised in the morning, sure, but it's all okay. Wait, what? Don't do that! What is wrong with you? Massive thanks goes out to East Asia Shop. Goes out to East Asia Soft. East Asia Soft. Massive thanks goes out to East Asia Soft, who actually gave me a key for this particular game, Wafu Uncovered. Yeah, the name says it all right. Well, not really, because this is a shmup. Now, we've had some rather risque shmups already, such as Caladrius and, I don't know, maybe Shikondo perhaps? This, however, takes it a whole lot further than not only those games, obviously, but also every single other game in this entire list and the other one too. Because although this may not seem too pervy of a game, I'm saving that for the number one spot, every single entry is just, well, it's softcore at its best, right? Because you don't actually see what Mario's flaunting off in his first party game, do you? It's all just, you know, very suggestive poses and knicker military games. Well, that was until Wafu Uncovered was released, where you play as a guy with a horse head shooting down aliens and out-of-date memes in order to slowly remove layers of alien-infected clothing off these perfectly proportioned anime chicks so that they don't turn into super ugly anime chicks. No, seriously, that's the story. This is essentially a shmup, which I am actually a very big fan of, building up quite the collection on the Switch myself. I didn't mind playing through this game. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a good shmup, but at the same time it's far from unplayable, and I never felt bored working my way through the 7 stages in this game. Which, by the way, you will need to do if you want to unlock the uncensored version. Yeah, it's time to set out because I actually played through the story mode of this game for my awesome Patreons and YouTube members. Link below. And if you think to yourself, how far do they actually take this? Well, I would say about half of the girls actually do show off their upper assets in full, and like I said, I'm yet to see that kind of thing anywhere on the Switch, besides what Mario was offering. But yeah, it did throw me off when I did indeed see what I saw. I mean, it's nothing more than a simple Google search would offer, but still, it's on the Switch, and I think that's everything this game offers. Oh no, wait, it also has a mode that lets you play with one hand in case your other hand is busy. Okay, so this one is actually impossible to play on the Switch, but you still can play it for free on the PC. It was set for the Switch and it never ended up coming out. Don't get caught. And let me tell you right now, guys, this game is so much worse than you are expecting. So Don't Get Caught by Ultimate Games is actually technically Don't Get Caught free. For long-time fans of online streamers, you may know what this is all about already, but for those that don't, let's go back to the beginning. The description for the first game reads that you've got 10 minutes left till your bedtime, but you forgot to do one important thing. I think we all know what it is. Your job is to do what has to be done before you have to go to bed. There's a problem though, because your mum keeps walking around the damn house and sometimes checks on you. So yeah, it's essentially a Five Nights type of game where you play as a teenage lad doing what all teenage lads do, but also hoping that your mum doesn't come in the room. In Don't Get Caught 2, your mum has obviously forgiven you, and bless her heart, she's only gone and got her no good son a job, hasn't she? But obviously old habits die hard because, you know, you still got your urges. It's 10 minutes till the end of the day and, well, you can do what you need to do in only 10 minutes, right? Which results in you sitting in the toilet with your laptop on your lap, hoping that your mum doesn't come in and catch you. Which finally brings us to Don't Get Caught Free, aka just Don't Get Caught as it was known on the Nintendo eShop, a game that genuinely was on the eShop, prepped for release on the 13th of July 2020 before it was taken down before it was released. Regardless, it did have a trailer, and for those wondering, this is the story of apparently the final game in the trilogy. You get kicked out of the house after your family disown you because of your addiction, and then end up homeless with nothing better to do than to hitchhike lifts with strangers trying to do your thing in the backseat without the driver noticing you and the weird doll thing next to you seeing you either. Because if it does, you get booted out of the car and you gotta do it all again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the complete history of Don't Get Caught, a terrible game series that actually tried to get released on the Switch, was somehow advertised to be released on the Switch, including a very disturbing trailer that in all honesty showed you everything that you needed to see, and apparently the whole thing was just an accident. This game was never supposed to be on the store, which just confuses me as to how it ever did make it on there in the first place. I mean, there is actually no real nudity at all in this game, you don't see anything, and even in that final game when you look down, all you see is a little yellow smiley face. But that doesn't take away the motion that you actually see in the game, and the big question for me is, how were they going to reenact this on the Switch? Hey there guys, thanks for checking out this rather rude and risque video from me. I hope you all liked it, yes. And yeah, thanks to the companies that sent me a couple of codes needed for this particular video. It was quite fun to research, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was pretty fun. As I said, I did a couple of uploads of this before it went live to see, you know, if I was going to be able to get away with putting adverts and all that sort of thing on there. I did like 2 upload tests and they both didn't really work out for me. So we'll see, but it doesn't look like this one's going to be monetized. So thank you all to my Patreons, to my YouTube members that support the show and mean that I don't have to worry about it as much. And if you guys want to support the show like these awesome people do, there will be links down below. But anyway, let's give a massive shout out to these specific YouTube members and patrons, with an extra big shout out going to Gary Pinkett, Jaber Al Aiden, Asashi Dog, Andrew Dalton, Andrew Ward, Ryan Burford, Jonathan Hayward, Aaron Gorman, Mr. Golden, Anthony Estrada, Lipt, David Yaron, C64 Television, Pretty with Horns, Elf Daughter Crafts, Richard Alderjic, Shadow Dial, Rovan Army, Ryan Holtz, Kevin King, Retro to Next Gen aka Lou, Dina, Intrigued Gaming, Adam Lefty Taylor, Jeff Mianowski, Tim Lunn, Ben Jackson, Pretendo64, Conrad Constantine, Kinglink Reviews, Tim Labonte, Dr. J Expert in Moonology, Jacob P aka Avalon James, Benjamin Guy, Hut, Brandon Gold, Aidan Wolf, Chris the Rottweiler, Ben Big Rico, Jeff Ladd, Mike Martin, RetroReversing.com, RL Sloan Friendly Competition at Audible.com, Shadow Dragon, Wobbles and Bean, The Wonder Ducks, Game Apologist, Dan Petit, Lucas Softail, Ye Old Hamburglar, Ronnie Method, SSWB, Solex Captor, Jeremy Rodriguez, Nick Pollard, Bram Perez, Marcus Kingimo Cut Tyndall, Richard Carter, aka Fantastic Dizzy, Petty Mew, Todd Paul Float G, Night Will, Papa Zane, Cheshire 1, Vike Echo, The Shaded J, Rocket Plod, Stephen, Man of God 9000, The Cunning Linguist, That Gamer, Arista, Mr. T, Dina81, Trans Rights, and Samuel Nilsson. I was a little bit all over the place there because it's put it in a different order and it threw me off. Thank you all for supporting the show. These awesome patrons do mean that I'm able to put content out like this and not have to worry too much about the YouTube side of things. So thank you all so much. Like I said, if you want to support the show, there will be links down below. And as already stated, the videos you're seeing down below, or the thumbnails you're seeing down below, are all exclusive videos to my patrons and YouTube members, and you guys can see those by clicking those links below and supporting the show at any tier whatsoever. So anyway, until next time, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.